Good morning. It's really early. It is 3:30 in the morning on January 8th, 26. Um Wanted to give a quick update of how I feel, probably before and after. So far I've been okay. Had lunch with my dad on Monday. Today's Thursday. I'm gonna see him today again. No, we had lunch on Tuesday. It was Tuesday. I saw him. Haven't talked to him yesterday. It's been a interesting week. I've not cried. And him and I, we talked on Tuesday with how he asked me before, somewhere in November, I think, where he said, how do you know if it's PTSD or trauma related? Because he has many recurring memories without trying to remember. And I said, well, a big difference between what we're going through and trauma is a big difference is the fact that with people who experience trauma, they have the reoccurring memories without triggering them. And one of the other things that's significant is they avoid places that trigger. They intentionally avoid. They make great attempts to try to cushion their experience, their environment. And my dad said, no, that's not it. I said, okay, well, a lot of stuff in life has traits, and it's not actually like diagnosable. This Tuesday, I told him that, he brought it up again, and he said he has flashes of memories and things like that. And I said, yeah. When's the last time it happened to you? He said yesterday. And I said, it happens to me a lot too. I said it happens a lot when I drive to your house. And because it does. And sitting in my office, I was right there on the floor begging God to save her. And just thinking about that morning, and he's still trying to bargain, and could I have done anything, is what he also said. And we talked about it, if he could have done anything. I told him that, what I've learned so far since my mom's death of a heart attack is that women, I have a hair, did I get it? I think I got it. Women have symptoms weeks before they have a heart attack that kind of lets them know that they've got, like there's something going on, that in a couple weeks things are going to go sideways. Doesn't mean they're going to have a widowmaker heart attack, but they've got signs. And he said she went to the hospital, she was at the doctor, they did an EKG and they couldn't find anything, and You know, it's just our brain trying to make sense of what happened. And I told him that I was trying to figure out if the difference between disassociation and acceptance. And I wanted to bring that into today's video with what I found between disassociation and acceptance, because this is going to be helpful for someone, because there's been times that I've felt really great in life, and it's okay to feel great in life after you've experienced a loss. But a lot of people, I think, wonder if they're intentionally ignoring what they feel in order to feel great. And this is what I found out between the differences, because I wanted to make sure I got it right for today's video. And it says, disassociation in grief is a protective disconnection from overwhelming feelings like shock or numbness to cope with immediate pain, while acceptance is the final stage of integrating the loss, acknowledging the new reality, and finding a path forward with hope, not fighting it. Disassociation is a temporary, often early stage defense, whereas acceptance is a gradual, later stage process of adapting to the changed reality, allowing for new meaning and peace. So, disassociation is a mental escape where you disconnect from thoughts, feelings, or memories, often feeling unreal, numb, or detached. The purpose of disassociation is it's a defense mechanism to shield you from intense emotional pain or trauma. And then the timing of disassociation often happens early in grief and shock or denial, and can feel like a foggy or surreal state. Essentially, they just can't feel anything, and this isn't real. Acceptance. What it is, it's coming to terms with the reality of the loss, not meaning you like it, but that you stop fighting it. The purpose is to build a new normal, find hope, and reintegrate into life with the loss as part of your story. The timing of the acceptance is a later gradual stage, the accumulation of the grieving process, bringing a sense of calm and possibility. And it's like, I'm adapting, I can live with this. The biggest difference is disassociation is a stop button. Acceptance is a go button. So disassociation is a temporary protective shutdown, while acceptance is the beginning of conscious rebuilding. And when I saw him on Tuesday, I told him that what I tell people is grief is like a broken bone. You will know you got broke there. Can it rebuild? Will it be the same? No. Can it rebuild? Yes. So, I guess I'm working on acceptance. Fucking hate this shit. This week has been okay. This is like the first time I've cried since Christmas. It's been a couple weeks. I just keep thinking about, I don't know, maybe it's a pity party, but what scares me is the fact that I have to go through whatever life's gonna throw at me now without my mom. Like, I don't have her help. I don't have her support. I don't have... She was a big support for me. She was a huge support. And now I've got to face fucking all of it without her. And life can throw a lot of shit, you know? Life can throw anything at you. And the one person who was supporting before I was even born isn't here anymore. One person who would go to the ends of the earth to help me out isn't here. God. On Tuesday when I talked to my dad, he he's working through his process too. It's she was overweight, and he said that she had EKGs and she went to the doctors and she was recognizing stuff, but they didn't necessarily see anything or flag anything. And on Tuesday he goes, maybe her weight had something to do with it too. I said, yeah. Because we can't always rule that out. Doctors default to, well, go lose some weight first before we try anything else, and that's fucked up. But on a different idea, it's like, who's to say that it doesn't actually make things a little bit more complicated to find out what's wrong? Plus, she used her weight as a way to hide, and she didn't hide from life. She definitely didn't hide it. She didn't hide from death too. So next weekend is my Aunt Darlene's funeral in California. It's when they put her on the bench, I'd imagine. I'm not going. My dad and my two brothers are, but I'm not going. And I'm dropping them off at the airport on Friday. I'm going to pick them up on Sunday. And it'll be all right. My Aunt Darlene was, when I was growing up, she was my, well, like, we're not Catholic, but I do know that my parents had a small paper, when we were all children, stating who was going to take care of us should something ever happen. And my Aunt Darlene was going to be the one who was going to take care of us should something ever happen. And I don't know, it made things between us like more special. And when she passed away in October of last year, 21st, 89 years old, broke her femur in August, I think. And essentially, I don't think she ever really went home. She was getting better, got an infection, and just took her out. My cousin said that she had passed away. It was a slow process. He said that she passed away, her heart just stopped in 20 minutes. It just started to fade out. And he was right there next to her, and she was real peaceful. But as a result, through my mom's death, my Aunt Darlene, my mom was a really big spiritual heavy for me, and so was Aunt Darlene. Holy fuck, so is Charlie Kirk. It's been a rough year, you know? And as a result of my Aunt Darlene passing, I got this book, actually. This one, it's called New Beginnings. It's a 366 devotional, only if there's a leap year. And I got this book because I thought, well, how fitting to, spend a little bit of your morning in reading a page and kind of using it as the spiritual guidance you're seeking, from these important people that aren't there anymore. What's really funny is New Beginnings was the name of a school my parents started back when I was a child. And that's the name of the book. The author of this book is, it just says Christian Art Publishing. I don't know. So anyway, in regards to this book, yesterday I had a difficult day on the 7th because I'm currently in transition from being a 1099 to a W-2. And I have a lot of people on that I talk to right now that I can't take with me, and that they're transitioning off of therapy, which also means that before life gets easier at the end of February, beginning of March, it's going to get hard. And I've got people dropping off. I have. It's just, I'm experiencing stress in a whole another area of life, because let's just keep lifing. And yeah, as a result, I read this yesterday. I want to read it to you today. This is what it looks like inside the book. That's today's. I put the date on there. Yesterday it said, "We can't change the past, and the future is a mystery to us. Therefore, the present is of crucial importance. By living in the moment, we can bring homage to the past and prepare ourselves for the future. People realize the importance of the present in different ways. Some people are continually involved in big plans that they want to accomplish at some point in the future, and any sacrifice in the present is worthwhile because the future is bright with possibility. The serious student will sacrifice his sport and social life to realize his dreams, but wise is the student who manages to keep his eyes fixed on future ideals while enjoying the accumulation of knowledge for the sake of the satisfaction that it provides in the days of his preparation." There was a time in the history of Christianity when the present was scorned, and the only future was of any value to the serious believer. It was the pie in the sky when you die approach to life and faith. Currently, this religious philosophy is on the wane, and the truth is dawning increasingly on people. Jesus Christ, who is our perfect master in the art of life, is not only involved in the heaven afterlife, but wants to establish heaven in the hearts of people here and now. When you venture forth on the path of this new year with Jesus Christ, the present is filled with his glory, and life becomes indescribably beautiful and good. And I needed that yesterday. I did. I really felt like my mom was talking to me. Because yesterday I was having a really difficult day with calculating my payments, figuring out what I was going to be doing. You know, every week I write down what I'm going to be getting and how I'm going to pay things and how I'm going to manage the money. And yesterday a bill came out and I had a payment for half of my car payment, and it was just very, and I was essentially underwater. And it was very stressful. I was feeling very stressed. In addition to today, I'm literally not working today. Today, Dad and I are going to hang out, spend some time together, feel all the feels. And I did a few hours yesterday morning just to keep up. You know, Christmas was hard. You know, the New Year's week was hard. It's going to have some real rough days here. And then people are going to start dropping off. My caseload's going to get easier before it gets better. And better meaning back on track. And so I opened that up after I worked. And I just felt my mom talking to me, you know, just God's got it all taken care of. Because that's what she would tell me. I haven't read today's yet. I was going to read it here with you. And but yesterday I felt like I wasn't functioning very well as a therapist yesterday. I wasn't doing very well. I really wasn't. I had two people that I feel like I stressed them out, and I apologized, but I felt off. People, I think they could tell I was feeling off that day, and it wasn't effective. And I haven't made a video in a while. I wanted to get up early to do a video, and I might do one the end of today or even tomorrow morning to kind of cap on how I feel with the anniversary of her death is today. And this is the beginning of the day, and then I can document the end of the day. Death gets 0 stars. I would not recommend this shit. I swear to God, I don't recommend this shit. Any way to avoid it? When you figure it out, you let me know. If I figure it out, I'll let you know. But it sucks. It fucking sucks. Today's book passage for my mom's death anniversary. Mind you, this time last year she was still alive. She died at around 7:25, 7:30 in the morning. 1/8/25. And it is 3. Oh, now it's almost 4 o'clock. So today says, what do we owe one another? Let no debt remain outstanding except the continuing debt to love one another. It says Romans 13:8. The scripture today is Romans 13:8 through 14, if you wanted to read that. That's also Romans 13:8 through 14. The page says, if we consider the matter carefully, we all have so much to be grateful for to the Lord. Despite the fact that we become dejected and pessimistic when things go wrong, we must realize that God's mercy and love for us are infinite. He granted you life and the freedom of choice to do with this life what you wish. You may be blessed with a happy family who loves you deeply. Even the most dejected person will, if he ponders the matter seriously and honestly, inevitably find something for which he can thank and praise God. Oh, I can't read anymore. Okay. How do we prove your gratitude to God for the bountiful grace in your life? No money, no commodities, no hours of service can be sufficient payment for his love. He bestows all these benefactions upon you and then ultimately sacrifices his life for you. Love can never be repaid sufficiently because it is an article that is simultaneously precious and priceless. You cannot measure the magnitude of it. It cannot be weighed to determine its value. Love can only be passed on and shared. Here, you have the only way in which you can acknowledge the great love that God has for you, by sharing it with each person. Fuck, this is my mom. By sharing it with each person whose path crosses yours on your pilgrimage into the future. Oh my gosh. If you've been watching me blubber for the last year, that was part of my eulogy for her last March. Oh my goodness. I didn't even know that. I did not read this page before. It has a prayer on the bottom. I need a new tissue. It says, "O Holy Spirit, help me to understand the lesson of true love as God has taught it to us through Jesus Christ. Grant that my every thought, word, and deed will be an act of love for you." I think when my mom's mom died, I was 18. My younger brother was 16, and my older one was, he could have been 20. I don't remember the time of the year that she passed away. But I know my mom was older than I am. But that is my mom's death day, and that is her life on that page. Another thing to understand who my mom was is to watch the John Candy I Like Me movie. I remember John Candy. He was awesome. He was so funny. And he died when I was 13. I think so. 13 or 12 or 13, something like that. If he died in 94, I was 13. If he died in 93, I was 12. And in that movie, I saw that recently, which is another thing I wanted to remind myself to bring into this video, is John Candy was like my mom. And if you watch that movie, he's went out of his way to make people feel special. He went out of his way to help people feel better, to make their life easier. And I looked at that and I was like, I know that. Yep. So it's the beginning of the day. Yesterday, I only worked 3 hours and took the rest of the day off because I did not know. I am working almost a full day tomorrow. Here's to hoping I'm going to do okay. My dad is not working tomorrow. He did work yesterday. He is not working today or tomorrow. And I took Wednesday and Thursday off. I didn't know how I was going to feel the day before. But I kind of figured that after the day after, I'd be okay. The day before, I was not. Yesterday was not on my therapy game. It was not. Today, I have nothing. And yesterday was the first day of school for the new semester. And I gave every semester, I give my kids one ditch day. Yesterday, being the first day of school, I asked my 9-year-old if she would like to use it as a ditch day and go to World Springs on Monday. And she said, yes. You know, why would you not want to go sit in water and extend your vacation by one more day? Which last year, she passed away on the first day of school. So they didn't go to school. And I did not bring that up to my kids yesterday, or I don't know, maybe I'll say it today, but I don't know if I want to. I don't know. Anyway. World Springs changed their rules. We showed up. I worked until 11. It's an hour drive. We showed up at 12. We ate at Culver's. Love Culver's. And so we showed up there at 12:30. After we had lunch, I like to eat first before we go over there, because then you can spend all the time you want in the water and not have to worry about food. And plus it's their food isn't that expensive. It's a little cheaper. At least you don't have to waste time eating. And we showed up, and then they said nobody under 16 is allowed. I said, when does that started? The 1st. She was upset. She really likes World Springs. I said, what about the kids part? And they go, there is no kids part anymore. I looked on all their socials. They didn't post it anywhere. They didn't say that rule change anywhere. So we walked away. She was crying. And I was like, well, damn it. Make my baby cry. We were in our swimsuits and everything. And she's in the video with reading at the dog park. That's my 9-year-old. And we went to Fritz's Adventure instead, which is a mile down the road. And we went to Fritz's on a Mother's Day, 25, and it was a lot of fun, and I've always wanted to go back. So we spent 3.5 hours at Fritz's. We could have been there longer. but we did need to come home eventually. And it's an hour drive. So, and there's traffic through Dallas. So we left at 3:30, I think. So yeah, traffic wasn't bad coming home. We just beat the rush. But Fritz's, if you don't know Fritz's, there's only one other location, and it's in Missouri. And it is they have a treetop outside, a lot of zip lines. You can go around the trees. Inside, they have a ropes course with little zip lines in it. They've got laser maze. It's not laser tag, it's laser maze inside there. They've got underground tunnels in concrete. They have shipping containers that you can climb through. They've got all kinds of, it's kind of hard to describe. You'll have to look up Fritz's Adventure. And it's, I think even the website doesn't do it justice. This time, I went into they have like this metal cage. It's, I think each square is probably 3 feet by 3 feet. And they've got them 4 high and 4 wide. And it is their version, their simulator of spelunking. And you climb through this and you go up and you scoot around and you go up, and then you scoot around and you go up, and you scoot around and you go up, and then you climb into the through a metal cage. You climb into the shipping containers. Last time, Mother's Day, I did not do that. I didn't think I would fit. I'm not a heavy person. I need to lose about 20 pounds, okay? But overall, I'm not a fat person or I don't know. People can be a skinny fat. But I'm not wide, I guess. And yesterday, I did that shit. I was looking at it and I was like, I want to do this, but I was concerned about not being able to, because I do have my back sucks frequently. It sucks. It sucked since I was 20. And I didn't know if I could get down, and I didn't want to hurt my knees. It's a 3 feet by 3 feet. Like, that's really small. And I had to crawl initially. You crawled in, and then you had to climb through a wire cage to get into the first box. And it literally went like that. You crawled in, you went to the side, you crawled up, and then you went to the box. And then it was zigzag, zigzag, zigzag up, zigzag up, zigzag up. And I did that shit. I had to do it on my butt. I was not going to ruin my knees. I did not want my knees to hurt. I think I got a bruise somewhere. I know in Mother's Day of 25, we went there and I was underneath in the holes in the concrete. And some of the places are, you have to, it was like a concrete wall, and then the tunnel is bigger than the hole they give you to crawl through. So it's like the wall, and then they give you this big of a hole, but the tunnel is, 4 feet tall, but the hole is 2 feet tall. Why? I don't know. But I crawled through that one, and then I hit my head on concrete, which really hurt, and on Mother's Day. I would still do it again. It was a great Mother's Day. And I saw that spelunking thing, and I said, I want to do that. I want to go in there. And I know that in May, my 16-year-old son, who's 6 feet 2 inches, did. I don't think he did the spelunking cubes, but I do know that he went through those cages, the roll cages, and he went up and into the shipping containers. And I was there yesterday, and I was like, if that boy can do that, I'm only 5'6". He's 6'2". He did that shit. I'm going to do that shit today. I had to tell myself, what the hell am I worried about? Worst case scenario is I just have to do it on my butt. And the shipping containers are big. You know, you walk in, they're the full size, you know. It's just you have to crawl through and climb up and crouch down, and it's a lot of movement. Fritz's adventure is about movement. But I wanted to do that yesterday, and I did it. Damn it, I'm so happy I did. That was a lot of fun. And we had a lot of fun. She wanted to go back when I said, let's go to Fritz's. And she was, yes. Okay, let's go. As you did today. We got ice cream, we went to Fritz's, had a wonderful time, came home. Today's a new day. And you heard it from my mom's death day yourself when I read you the page. I want to end with this statement back on that page. Here you have the only way in which you can acknowledge the great love that God has for you by sharing it with each person whose path crosses yours on your pilgrimage into the future. That's today's message. And it's so fucking fitting for her death day. I did not plan that. Right here. 1/8. Right there. Today's 1/8. That's 1/8. Not plan that shit. I will try my best to give you an update tonight. Or at least by tomorrow. And just love each other. We don't have any idea what's going to happen. And we don't know if we're going to get a widowmaker heart attack. Or we're going to die in something else. But what we can do is today. And what we can do is we can let people know that they're important and we love them. And they're important to us. So, thank you for sitting with me for 43 minutes of the first anniversary of a day that I don't ever want to fucking do again. Like it, love it, leave it. Let's life. Okay. I will talk to you later. Bye.